Good morning and welcome to another episode of 20 odd minutes of Terrace Talk. 20 odd minutes of Terrace Talk consists of Steve's classic kits, where every week Steve brings in 3 classic kits or pieces of football memorabilia which we sit and discuss. This week's trainer releases of the week, the fixtures for this weekend, and Tales of Grails or 40 Years of Fashion, which is behind me and is a classic one. This week I've got my mate Ross. He used to work in the shop, proper lad, loves his clobber. The only sad thing is he's a Rangers fan.
Oh.
How's it going, mate?
Got to support somebody, mate. Good, mate. How are you?
Same as always, mate. Overworked and tired. How about you, Steve? How are you feeling?
Overworked and underpaid, like yourself.
Right, so let's get into it then. What have you brought on this week, bud?
Right, okay, first one. We're doing an international special. So, first one is the Spain one, which is a pretty wacky design, but I really think it's one of the best international kits of the last sort of 20 years.
When's this from?
It's from 2016-2017, Adi Zero shirt, worn by some class players, but this is towards the end of the Spain era was like that, the winning the European Championship was winning the World Cup, but this is kind of
And then the European Championship again on the back. No one's ever done that before,
It was
ever.
a golden team, was it?
But this, I mean, even though this was still worn by David De Gea, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Ramos, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Fabregas, Juan Mata, David Silva, and Diego Costa. I mean, what kind of team is that? You know what I mean? Good strip, good players.
I don't remember that top. Do you remember that top?
It's not one I would remember, no.
I don't think the usual away strip. They didn't really wear it too much, but it's based. It says it's inspired by the 1994 kit, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Sorry,
but it's just
that's a bit before my time.
it's just a young in here.
I seem, what are you again, 98?
And 97,
97. I seem to remember a Spain kit about them with a collar, and I think it was an Adi kit. It had like, sort of similar, the Spain badge. And
a lot of the Spain kits are real classic, just the classic design, but that one's probably the maddest kit that they've had, and it stands out. It looks a biz.
The biz.
A fan of kits with collars. I always remember the Spanish one with a collar.
Right, so we'll move on to the Sweden one, which is a more modern, I think a modern classic to be fair. So it's really clean, and so it's a 2022-2023. There's not a lot to say about the team because they weren't very good actually, Sweden at that point, and there wasn't really anybody.
When was it? Zlatan scored against England. Remember the
Joe Hart.
Yeah,
that was a few years
one of
before
the best
that.
goals I've ever seen watching live football. It was brilliant.
That's a few years before that.
It's a very aesthetically pleasing top, though.
Yeah.
The colour scheme on it's very minimal. It's simplistic.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing a lot of the trefoils coming into tops. Like how popular that's been, especially international.
I like to see it on a football top.
But they're kind of going. They kind of make their mind up because they seem to be doing all these classic ones with the trefoil, but they're doing all the new ones seem to just be this 3.
Well, I've seen like a photo drop for Liverpool's new kit this week, and it's the old Candy. They've got the Candy print, but it's with the equipment badge. And it's like, why would you do that?
They all seem to be going with the centralised badges now as well, right in the centre of the chest.
Have you seen the Italy kit? The we've spoke about it. But yeah, the Italy kit's like a cotton with just like a wee tiny trefoil on the badge.
No.
It's the coolest.
Some nice kits out for the World Cup this season. I've seen
some
like
crackers.
Caracals and stuff like that. There's a few nice
But
ones.
there's the thing is with a lot, they're doing a lot of this historical retro lines, and that's the Italy one you're talking about. That's like that.
That was the coolest one by far, actually. I'll show you it when we start.
Some of the training equipment's amazing as well, but they just keep bringing it out, and then as you said, just leave the original Adidas badge on it. Why have they got to keep using this?
I think with how popular that's been, they've only been, they tested it out with like, I think it was 3-tier teams, because Celtic got it. But
yeah, because they're one of the elite clubs for Adidas, isn't they?
Yeah, so like I think they'll see with the interest in it. I think we'll start to see it a lot more. I think it makes the strips look better, to be honest. Anyway, what's your last one?
So I just think it's the real classic that everybody remembers, even though you're a youngin. You remember this in. So it's Croatia 1998 World Cup top. Just a classic Croatia, and it was the first ever World Cup, and they got to the semi-final, which is unbelievable.
So first ever World Cup, but they were part of Yugoslavia a couple of years before that, were they not?
So what kind of players would be playing in that era then?
Oh, it was Davan Sukar.
Sukar, yeah.
So quality player, but they got to the.
I think they got put out by, was it Argentina that put them out? I remember that was the first World Cup I watched.
First World Cup, they got beat from France in the semi-final, and then they played Germany. They played Germany in the third and fourth place playoff. Because I worked with a guy that stuck quite a lot of money on Germany to beat Croatia, and they went 1-0 down, and he went and walked the dog, and by the time he got back, it was 3-0 Croatia, and he got divorced. So it was quite a lot of money. It was into the sort of fourth figure kind of money he was putting on, because he thought it was going to be that easy, and it wasn't. I got beat 3-0.
It's never a sure banker in football.
That's it, exactly. Yeah.
Never a sure banker. When I see Lotto, I just think old Italian kits.
Yeah,
When I
classic
see Lotto,
90s
it's the
brand,
first
man,
thing that
yeah.
come. Is it from right in saying Fiorentina? Had for a Lotto or?
No, they had Lotto.
Yeah, they had Lotto. There's a few. But, Inter had Lotto at one point, right in the early 90s as well.
Lazio as well. Yeah, good kits, and that's a classic as well. So,
What's your favourite out of the three?
Definitely Sweden top. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's clean.
You said an interesting comment about the...
Oh, the yellow and blue. Yeah, I'm a bit of a controversial take, but I find it very hard to like colour match with trainers. Well, like say for instance, like Stockholm or Malmo. Just with the yellow and blue combination, I just me personally know I'm like a colour match. So
I find
that would go well. What?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, that one's clean, simplistic. I feel like it'd be easy to do that one. It's very much kind of similar to Leeds almost.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good take. Yeah, I'm seeing that. What about yours, Steve? What's your favourite kit out of them all?
Like the three of them, but love the Spain, but the Croatia, just because it's just a classic and what it meant to them at that point. That was the sort of start of Croatia getting the finals and semi-finals.
I remember that, yeah. Obviously Brazil and France went on to the final, but I remember watching it all as a kid, man. Classic 90s football. Anyway, on the next one, which is the trainer releases of the week, which is a segment which I'm starting to dread, to be honest with you.
Is there any good ones this week?
Well, I'll let you decide. There's been a couple, because we missed last week, because we had a technical fault. We have 5 pairs to talk about. Now, this pair I actually do like. This has just came out this week. This is the Melbourne. We've spoken about the Melbourne before, but this is just like an all-black version. I think it's a pretty cool trainer, to be fair, so the camera could see that. Or Declan will put up a photo.
It's going like back to kicks, isn't it?
It's very kick-like. It's a small toe bumper, you know what I mean? I like how they've took like different inspiration with like this sort of padding from like the old running, sort of cross-running trainers, or spike shoes. I think it's pretty cool. I like the original one better, the green with the sort of mesh instead of the full leather. Might have been cooler if it was a mesh instead of full leather, but you never know. The way that they spit everything out, we might see that next. After this is horrendous. Took a BW army trainer and made it into a runner.
You've mentioned this before, this trainer.
The BW trainer was a German army trainer.
It's a very New Balance look to it, that shoe.
It does, eh?
Yep.
It does.
Very New Balance look.
It is horrendous. But like, what usually goes down with this is, what we think is horrendous seems to be popular in other markets.
I think it looks more like a Primark.
I think you're seeing it a lot. Like people are wearing a lot of runner shoes now, like with like your Asics and your New Balance, and there's a very big shift into that.
A massive shift into it, yeah. Like Adi have been even.
Is it Nike the P6000? Honestly, I'm not a Nike fan, but
you're hitting on the nail there, saying that Asics and New Balance, they're the two highest rising trainer brands in the past couple of years. New Balance, I think,
personally,
2024.
For me, wearing Asics as a kid would have been a big, huge.
Yeah, it was a no, man. Big no-go. There was a high tech for me was that, and I remember there's a Nelson Mandela trainer that they made. It was a high tech. I can't remember what it was called. They only made
Nelson Mandela.
60. Well, he wore this pair of trainers in Robben Island for like 30 odd years or whatever he was in it.
Okay.
So like for an anniversary, they brought out.
They wouldn't have been in very good nick, would they?
Nah, they redone the shoe, but they only done 6. I think it was 67 pairs, but they were selling at auction for like crazy money. I would wear those high techs. They're the only high techs I would wear. Right, next, Size are releasing a ZX8000. Another 2 ZX8000s. What is this one again?
Snakeskin, yeah.
Snakeskin. It's an animal park. Never heard that before. Pony hair and snakeskin.
No.
I think it's absolutely guff. I'm not going to lie. They're like
cowboy trainer.
It looks like the Pam Pam version that was done in the 8ZX range. If MD remembers that, it was like a female trainer in that big range in 2020. Yeah, not very much creativity
I'm
there.
a flat shoe guy, so runners really.
New Samba. Samba 72, I believe.
Not bad.
I'm actually
Not bad.
it's
We've
probably
got-
the pick of the bunch so far. I
We've
think.
got one for the terraces then.
Like front on it, yeah.
Easy to wear with a trainer, easy to be seen at football.
Even like the lettering on it, it's quite different. Even the is that a heel tab? Yeah, heel tab looks nice as well. It's a bit more aesthetically pleasing, that one.
Yep. And I think, last but not least, I forgot the name of this one, to be honest with you. Is they've done it in equipment colourway. Going back on what you said about the runners.
So like EQTs and stuff.
Yes. Highly thinking. Pick of the bunch, Abdi's going for the Sambas.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, I'm finding it very hard to find week in and week out like great trainers to speak about, because it's like what you said. It's more going towards the running field now, and a lot of that is just that. I don't know.
Adidas just doesn't seem very inspiring just now. It just seems like all you're seeing right now is handballs.
Yeah.
It was in every colourway under the sun, and it just all feels a bit very rinse and repeat, doesn't it?
Did you like the Italians that came out?
What was that, sorry?
Did you like the Italians that came out?
Can't say I've seen them. There was one set of the Napolis I liked. I think it was like a burgundy kind of shade of one, the Napoli.
That would have been with the park.
Actual Napoli
The
football
recent one, was it
colour
Pizza Pack or was it
Yeah.
called or something like that?
Yeah, they were all done on the Vespers, and then they've done the Napoli one a couple of weeks later. Again, I think that one's probably the only one. Well, that's the one that you would want at that park. But yeah, it's uninspiring. Best way to describe it. Like it says, I see cooler things getting made from like custom people than actual getting released.
I think even Spezials now. There's not been a Spezial trainer
There we
that
go, right,
inspired me for a while.
Last
either.
Spezial release, what do you think of it?
Again, just uninspiring. It's no.
Recycled. Everything was absolutely
I
recycled.
feel very much so. Yeah, even like with the last release before that with the Gazelle Cord stuff and that, it's just all very. I don't think it's for the masses anymore. It just seems like it's very for a small clique of people.
The clothes go down a storm for.
Yeah, definitely. Smocks and stuff and that, they'll always go down very, very good.
It's kind of like you describe it like my shop. It started the love of the trainers. It was all about the trainers, and then like the interest is just wavering so much and so much. But I think it shows that the interest isn't in it for them and the trainers anymore, because that whole release just there, apart even the Samoa 2 was recycled because they'd just done another original colourway Samoa the release before that. So you give it out in a cool colourway, but it's been done uninspiring. Anyway, another weekly moan about trainers. On to this week's fixtures. What have we got, Steve?
Right, okay, so we've got big fixtures this weekend. Friday night. So, first leg, it's Arbroath versus Dunfermline. So the first leg was 1-0 Dunfermline in the Premier Playoff. So we're down at Arbroath on Friday night. And what are they going to switch on, Declan? They're going to switch on the windy wave machine.
What's the wave coming for?
Yeah, exactly. The windy wave machine. Well, you've got the waves coming over that wall as well, with the wind machine being on. So
away and don't talk a lot of shit.
There was a moment not long ago where the keeper kicked the ball in the air and it just fucking flew across the pitch. Didn't it?
Steve likes to call it the wind machine, man. But it's a good name, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a big crowd there. And what are you thinking? Which team would you like to see coming out of that league?
Right, as an away fan, somebody who goes to like away games and stuff, I would rather be going to Dunfermline.
All right, okay.
Just because, like,
You didn't want the windy wave machine.
no, I like the deal with Arbroath.
Yeah.
But like, see if they done up the stadium a bit or something, or you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's
like,
not great in the middle of December, that's for sure.
No, it's not. But I do like the day out in Arbroath, but it's like a championship away day. That's what I like doing. And like you're going to Arbroath.
Yeah.
If I had to see one of them probably come up, I would like it. Dunfermline's a better day out.
I just love.
My heart says Arbroath, but I think
I like Arbrough, but I just don't think they want to do it.
I think with Lennon and how he's got the cup final and that coming up, I think they'll get a wee bit of momentum behind them, and I think they'll go and push on to get through the
There's
check.
one thing for sure, the teams at the bottom of the Premier, none of them are wanting to play Dunfermline. They're laughing if they get Arbroath or Partick Thistle going to that final. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know, I'd be a bit worried about Partick as well, but I feel like whoever finishes in that playoff spot from it, I don't feel like St Mirren will go down. I don't think Kelly will go down either, so...
I think St Mirren are going to be in that spot.
Am I right in saying there's only two teams that came up through the championship playoffs? Dundee and Hamilton, I think. I don't know.
We came up against Cully that year, yeah. That was Charlie Adam and that.
No, Livy last year as well.
They were in the playoff.
Livy knocked Ross County out, yeah.
Ah, so they did actually.
Yeah, so it's been quite...
It's back-to-back relegation for them, is it?
Yeah. Just shows you, yeah. So the other Friday night fixture is...
Did Inverness come up?
No, they'll be in a... I think they're in the
Playoff,
playoff. I think they're in the playoff.
They're in the playoff.
I think so, yeah. So our other favourite team Friday night, Millwall. So it's the Championship playoff first leg. So it's Hull versus Millwall. So I know what team they're wanting to come up, you know. But we'll wait and see. Yeah, I'm not really sure how Hull are playing. To be fair,
Hull are playing fantastic. McBurney's on fire just now. He's absolutely banging them in just now. McBurney. He's on top form.
Who are you going for then?
first leg, Millwall go there and get a
I think
draw.
Millwall have had a great season. I watched their game at the weekend, and then I would think that obviously they were a bit unlucky with Ipswich getting their win as well. But I think Millwall deserve over the course of the season to come up.
I want my to win. Like, I don't
Just
know.
for the banter.
Come on. My love for Millwall this season came from like they won me. They always won us on a coupon. So I was like, you just got to love that.
It's just typical. It's just typical that we're looking like West Ham's possibly going down, and Millwall's going to come up.
That'd be brutal. I'd rather Tottenham went down, to be honest.
It'll probably be the case that Millwall stayed in, West Ham will go down, and it'll be some fixture in that championship, you know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, I would actually.
Yeah.
When was it? Like, we should probably check this sort of stuff. The last time that fixture happened, like every time it's a big Sky Sports event, is it? All the time.
That's a big one. Danny Dyer was at it, mind. When Saturday comes, that's the last time they played there, isn't
To
it?
be fair, that Danny Dyer show was a bit nuts, was it? It's just like when he's at the Celtic Rangers game. It's all kicking off in here.
He got escorted. He got to film in Dundee for about 20 minutes and then got escorted out by the police. Phoned him and stuff. Yeah, mad.
So, Scottish Premier fixtures. The match that doesn't really affect anything, Aberdeen versus United. So,
United are shite.
I think Aberdeen are worse though, to be fair. I think Aberdeen are a bit of a worse place.
They were looking bad a couple of weeks ago. They've got a couple of no bad results, have they?
I don't see how I honestly think Aberdeen do very similar again next season. I don't see them getting themselves back up and maybe kind of sixth place sort of thing, but I don't see Aberdeen doing a lot better next season.
well, that fixture on Saturday is just between if Aberdeen can try and leapfrog them and get more money, isn't it? So that's all that's really involved.
I heard a mad stat today that, right, from 1986, there's only 2 teams that have got above 70 points in that league, and they were both managed by Derek McInnes.
Oh, I've got quite a wee soft spot for McInnes, but I'm sure we'll get on to that soon.
But yeah, that's a pretty mad stat when you think about it.
Definitely. So, next fixture, Dundee versus Livingston. So,
Draw all day of the week, man. All day of the week. All we do is draw with them. We'll go 2-0 up, and then we'll lose another 2 goals.
3-2 all draws. And I think Dundee will win on. So I don't know if Livingston's heart will be in it anymore. Any result with St Mirren playing Kelly, which someone's got to give in that. So I'm hoping that's over and done with for us on Saturday. I'll go with Dundee win on that. Falkirk versus Hibs. So it's all going for this European place at the moment. But on that AstroTurf again. And
Very hard match to call, that one.
Yeah, Falkirk.
Very hard match.
Falkirk gave them a right pumping the last time they played them there, didn't they? So I'm going to go with your Falkirk win there again. Then the sort of big one, the big sort of second bottom one, St Mirren versus Killie.
Huge game.
Yeah, massive game for the two of them.
I think who loses this will be in the playoff spot.
Probably, very much so. Yeah.
I feel like Kelly were flying to until there was a striker. What was the name of the boy? He went there. Scored a couple against Celtic, and Celtic brought it back.
Yeah.
If you feel like he was going to keep them up, but don't know. I think
At least a life with Neil McCann going in there.
definitely we feel like
Definitely
Curtis
more
has
fight.
been playing fantastic for them as well.
Because it wasn't like St Mirren weren't looking great, but they weren't. It didn't look like they were getting dragged in there about Christmas time. I think they were. I don't know, sitting in maybe about 8th or 9th, and yeah, Kelly came on to form, and yeah, St Mirren have been dragged right into it. I think the playoffs going to be St Mirren. I think Kelly will be alright.
I think Kelly will be safe myself.
So the last 2 fixtures, one's on the Saturday night and one's on the Sunday. So it's Motherwell versus Hearts and Celtic versus Rangers. So is this going to be the week that Hearts get pipped again at the top, or they close in on them? Or are they just going to go to Motherwell and win easy? I don't think that's going to be an easy game.
Don't think that'll be the case. Motherwell have definitely probably been the best footballing side in the league this season, but a good distance. I think the way they play football just now is fantastic.
Well, it's definitely squeaky bum time for them, because you just don't know how. I mean, if Motherwell go and beat Hearts, that's going to give somebody a boost. And they might say Rangers are out of it. It's not. For me,
it's not true, yeah.
No, not at all.
It's not true,
Because
yeah.
if that could change very quickly. If Rangers were to go to Parkhead and win, and Motherwell were to beat Hearts, then it goes to the next game, and then the pressure's on.
I think the winner of Saturday's tie puts a lot of pressure on the Sunday tie as well.
If Hearts go and win, and then Celtic and Rangers draw, then you can kind of say it's looking like.
How many times has Hearts went a goal behind in the past couple of weeks and came and brought it back?
For me, that's why I cannot write Hearts off. I just feel like everybody, the whole season, we've all talked about how good managers have been in the league, like your John McGlynn, your Askews, and I just feel like Deck's not had the credit he deserves. I really don't.
But Motherwell have going to really have a big say in this with the fixtures that are coming up.
I always believed that just even before this, but like I say, I think they're the best footballing team in the league this season by a good distance.
Solid team, mate.
Solid team. It's their work off the ball. Their work off the ball is absolutely second to none. The way they're just spinning in behind and all rotating, very hard working team.
So what's your thoughts on this? Who's going to win these two games?
I'm going to go Hearts and I'm going to go Rangers. I think Rangers are going to beat Celtic this weekend.
I'm very much in agreement with that, but I think that's heart over head, to be honest.
I don't know. I just think Rangers. If you play two halves.
Oh, we've definitely seen a game of two halves between Celtic and Rangers this season anyway.
Well, I'm going to say a draw in the Motherwell Hearts game, and I'm going to say a win for Celtic, which will put pressure totally on the Hearts. But you never know. That could go anyway. So we'll go into the Championship. So it's Airdrie versus Alloa, and it's 1-0 after the first leg for Alloa. Going to Airdrie on they both play on AstroTurf, so that doesn't really count. So I'm going to go for, hopefully I'm going to go for another Alloa win, because I hate Airdrie for some reason. And then Steny versus Queen of the South, and it's Steny 1, Queen of the South 1. So
Steny doing really well this season.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a Steny win there.
Naismith that's on to got them.
I think so, yeah.
Manager, he's done fantastically. I believe he was up for manager of the year as well. Gary Naismith.
What about you boys? What do you thinking? Airdrie, Alloa, Steny, Queen of South? You going for a Steny win?
Oh, I don't know about Steny winning. I do think they've done well this season, but
they're at home. This one, I think they'll get through.
I think Airdrie have got a good back in it as well. I think they've got a good crowd behind them as well.
Yeah, they could end up coming back in that one. What yourself?
I would agree, yeah.
Scottish League 2 playoff, so it was a big win for Hamilton at 4 first. So it was Hamilton 3, 4 for 1, so I'm going to go for Hamilton and just keep going to that. And that was a bit of a shock. The next one, Spartans nil, Clyde 2. Because Clyde have not been that great the last 2 or 3 years in, and Spartans were doing quite well and they got turned over. But they could turn it back, I suppose.
It's football, is it?
That's it. English Premiership, big game, West Ham versus Arsenal. And West Ham versus Arsenal, Spurs versus Leeds, and Man City versus Brentford.
Arsenal versus West Ham's a very interesting game, is it?
Yeah.
Very interesting game.
It's at the London Stadium, so you never know.
They've definitely got a bottle in the Arsenal, but again, it's like what I said about McInnes. They've probably got a soft spot for Arteta as well, whereas everybody seems to dislike Arteta. I'm quite a fan of him, so
I thought they were going to bottle it. It's back in their hands now. Champions League final as well.
Yeah.
Like you've got to credit that, have you?
I think a lot of people think PSG are just going to walk right over Arsenal as well. I think it's going to be a lot tighter of a game than people think. I think it's going to be a lot tighter of a game.
Our PSG side are good.
They're fantastic. They're great. I thought, obviously, the game there the other day compared to the week before, I think I was a bit of a letdown, but PSG just kind of held their own and sat in deep and defended their box in that well.
Any result in that West Ham Arsenal game against Arsenal, then Man City got Brentford, so they're just waiting in the wings to. I think they'll win that easy. So Arsenal are going to have to go to West Ham, and West Ham are fighting for their life. So you never know.
It's goal scorers.
As an Arsenal fan, what would you say? Hey, Champions League or the league? Obviously, they'll say the two of them, but they've never had the Champions League before, have they?
No,
it's only their second final in their club's history, is it?
But remember that last final was pure. The keeper,
I was a kid.
The keeper got sent off,
didn't he?
The keeper got sent off. Pure ruined the game. But they went up 1-0 up. Yeah, I think you're right. Sol Campbell.
If I remember right.
And the Spurs Leeds, I think Leeds are pretty much safe. So I think Spurs looks like a couple of weeks ago it looked like Spurs were on their way out, but kind of think that Spurs will win that.
I just think that the squad's a wee bit too great. I always thought Spurs were going to kind of avoid it. I always thought Spurs would avoid it.
So that was the fixtures.
The fixtures.
The fixtures. No many fixtures this week.
So that brings us on to our last segment, which is 40 Years of Fashion or Tales of Grails, which was bringing in this week is a lovely ice jacket, Stone Island ice jacket from 2010. The ice jacket first came out. I was a favourite of Massimo Ozzi. If everybody remembers the photo where he's wearing the purple ice jacket on his yacht. 1989. Thermosensitive compounds which react differently to heat. And then mad colours. So yeah, there's been loads of ice jackets. This one here is mad surprisingly that there's nothing wrong with it.
It's definitely one of the best condition ones I've seen.
Yeah, for this age, you kept it in a box as well, did you?
Yeah.
Like, we told me that, I was like, oh god, you're gonna hit a, it's gonna be stuck together.
Kept in a bag, in a box.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing wrong with it. I've had to clean these jackets like many times, and once they start to go, it's doomed. Mad cool for. Anybody want to do the handprint or will I do it?
It's one of the first ones I've seen without peeling on it.
There's no peeling.
Brings his hand off and the coating comes off.
Yeah, it's going from a darker blue to a lighter blue.
I think you see it more on the lighter blue ones and the white ones and stuff, but yeah, it's a very nice.
I love the thermosensitive stuff. Do you remember, we went out, me and you, remember, I think it was Declan last year, and I had a duffel on because it was about Christmas time, but it was one of the warmest coats I've ever wore, and it was like, it's like a grey stony colour, but then when it changes, it goes like this sort of creamy colour. Honestly, I was wearing that in the middle of Groucho's. So the whole thing, right under the hand patch, right at the back, everywhere, sweating.
The same. I had a plurimus. It was the exact same. You always seen the big white patches under your arms with the heat, and then when it went cold, it went back blue again. It was quite nice.
Plurimus, we had a Plurimus jacket on the other week, talking about it. We didn't actually do it justice, to be fair, because we didn't show the battery pack or that. You got a lot of Plurimus stuff.
Not got a lot. I've got one jacket, but I would like to get more. But it's just the radiator. I mean, you know yourself, they're only released in certain amounts, and I feel like a lot of people are signed up on pre-sales and stuff.
Oh yeah, they all go like straight away basically.
Yeah, I seem to miss the boat on that.
The only person I know who is on that mailing list, Cookie, used to be on that list. I don't know if he still is, because I don't see him as much.
He will be.
But yeah, 99 people, you know what I mean? You're going to buy it straight away. I've never had a jacket of that I've not been able to sell. Everybody grabs it. Mm-hmm. We're meant to be talking about Stone Island for. 2010, good era, before 30 logos and everything else. Some banging jackets.
Got a lot of nice knitwear and that back then. They had big heavyweight knit cardigans and stuff from Stone Island. I think the quality then was, especially on the knitwear, it always felt a bit more luxury, a bit more heavy and stuff.
Yeah,
that era.
It's just after the Paul Harvey era. That's my favourite era. Like the early. He came in after Oxy in '96 and he left in 2008. And some of the coolest stuff I think is roughly about that era. Some cool jackets.
A lot of beige pastel sort of colours.
Yeah, a lot of stony. A lot of things called Razzos. But yeah, the experimental jackets that are fucking mad cool. Sorry for the French. But as we spoke about right at the start, prone to peeling, prone to spend. You'll spend a lot of money on them. These on resale, just for MD's interest, usually sit about £700. Mint condition, I don't know, probably more for this, to be fair. I've not seen one with tags.
I would reckon so.
Yeah, like usually the ones that are alright about £700. But this is like the thermosensitive stuff that are prone to issues later in life. They're cool pieces to own, but that's not really something you could wear consistently, I don't think. So do you see that as something? Well, there's no point in asking you because you buy it anyway. Like something practical to wear, that's the question.
I don't know about practical. You know me, Kris, on a night out, I just feel like I'd be a bit scared to wear that out, to be honest with you. Just worried about it, you know. So spend a lot of money on it, so wear it for one night out and ruin it's a bit.
I'll see it's stuck together when you get home and you throw it in the radiator.
She's ruined mine, the handprint's not going off.
Yeah, this is something that happens as well, yeah. We've done videos in the past, and you come in the next day and the handprint's still there. You're like, no. But anyway, this has been 20 minutes of Terrace Talk. Thank you to our new guest who's going to be here every week, I'm hoping.
Well, I'll pop back, boys.
You enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I'll bring some. I'll be able to bring in some kits of my own and some pieces of memorabilia that I've got to put away that I'd like to speak about as well. So
no worries.
But yeah, Steve, anything you want to say before we go?
Bye.
Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I was meant to say.
And hit that hype button. I don't even know what that means, but I've got that for other podcasts.
All right.
But anyway, go enjoy your weekend. We will see you next week. Have a ball.